Hey guys, welcome back. And today I have a classic, a Mora Classic number 2, and I'm going to be putting a custom handle on here. So stick around and check it out. So I have a couple options. I'm not sure what I'm going to go with yet. I have a piece of oak. I have a couple of pieces of oak. I have this piece of lilac from the yard. I'm definitely going to be incorporating this one in there. It's just the grain is just really nice. I like the grain. And I also have some alder. So I'm going to plan this out a little bit, figure out which how I want this to look, which wood I'm going to use, and we'll go from there. Now this is actually it's a pretty simple project that anybody can do, really. But Mora lovers may want to close their eyes for the next minute or so. So a Mora knife is actually a really good choice for this type of project. For one thing, because they're cheap, and also because although they're cheap, the steel is pretty good quality steel for the price point. So that's the reason why I selected this rat tang for this particular knife. So here's the Mora with the tang showing, pretty cool. The handle comes to about right here. And also when you're doing this type of project, you want to make sure you put some cardboard on the blade and tape for safety. So once you've selected the type of hardwood you want to use, you're going to want to get these down to manageable knife handle sizes. So I'm going to cut my pieces. I'm going to get 3 blocks. So this piece of lilac, I'm going to want to try to get this center here, and I want to get the different color grain involved there as well, just for looks, and try to avoid areas where there might be splits in the wood, if you're using real logs. I decided for the handle I'm going to go with 2 lilac blocks and with the oak in the middle, and they're going to be separated by these leather spacers. This is veg tan leather. Any kind of leather will be good to use. Once you have your blocks squared off, you're going to want to mark your centers and drill them. So I match up the drill bit to the thickness of the blade. So in this case it's a 1/8 drill bit, I believe. And ideally a drill press would be best for this, but I do not have one, so I'll just be using a power drill. And it doesn't matter if your holes are a little too big, because the epoxy is what's going to hold this whole thing together. Okay, so there we have it. It doesn't look like much yet, but just bear with me. Once you have all your blocks how you want them and how you want it to fit with your spacers, it's time for the epoxy. You can use pretty much any kind of epoxy that you would like, but I'm going to use Gorilla epoxy because it's what I have, and it's also pretty decent. You're going to want to coat your rat tang with the epoxy, as well as get a little bit in your holes. I usually put the tip into a block underneath and just give a couple of taps on the top, on the butt end, just to make sure everything's together good. So you can pretty much just leave it hammered into that block to dry, leave it for 24 hours, and you're good to move on to the next step. So here it is, fully cured. What you want to do now is to square this off. First thing to do is to square this off on the on your sander. Once you get your handle squared, you're going to want to work on these corners and start getting a bit of shape on your handle here. Alright, so when you get to this point, it's pretty much up to you how much you want to do, how you want to shape your handle. One good tip that I like is you take advantage of your angles on your sander. If you want a little choil and you have a round area, you can work your choil into on that side right there. So that's kind of what's cool about making your own handle. So you can make it to fit your hand, whatever you find comfortable. I have a pretty big hand, so like this feels really comfortable in my hand. It doesn't look the coolest, it's not the particularly, but I find this very comfortable, so I might just leave that how it is. Put a little bit of linseed oil on it. Like I said, it's not the prettiest, but it feels really comfortable in my hand. Another example, this is another one I did. It's a little more visually pleasing. So you can and this one also has linseed oil or tung oil. So you can see it brings out the grain a little better. And so that's it. This one looks really nice. It's also pretty comfortable, but you kind of get the idea. You can play around with your own designs and whatever feels comfortable for you. More power to you. So there you have it. Thanks for checking in, guys, and hope you enjoyed that video. I enjoyed making it. And here's just a final shot with the tung oil. As you can see, it really brings the grain out. I'm pretty happy with it. Thanks for watching, guys.